Let us start today's topics. First one, what is precision farming? How it can help you and agriculture. Number second, social security option for platform workers. Third one is the banks in stronger and clean health and the benefits to economy that a stronger banking system provides. Fourth one is priority to cases against MP and MLAs set by Delhi High Court. And what is faith? These kind of questions can also be asked faith or religion based questions in ethics. So let us move on to the first one, preparing the ground for precision farming. As we know, precision farming is a concept where new technologies or collected field information is used and to do the right thing at the right time at the right place. So the collected information actually may be used more precisely. So that can help us doing optimal sowing density, estimate the fertilizer capacity that is required, and other input needs those may be required for doing the agriculture. It helps in avoiding unwanted practices to crop regardless of local soil, climate conditions, and it reduces labor, water, inputs such as fertilizers and pesticides, and it improves in the quality and a timely produce. So, around the world, agriculture is shifting to more sustainable practices. The change is due to growing environmental concerns. So agriculture is not only affected by the productivity declines, but also the climate change is also creating a trouble. Plus water scarcity is a major issue, plus the pollution actually that happens because of the fertilizer use and etc. So these have been the concerns of agriculture across the globe. To sustain agriculture or to provide agriculture on a sustainable basis, we have to reduce the input that goes into agriculture. Input in the sense that water, fertilizer, other electricity, and all these things. So to reduce the quality, to reduce the quantity of the input that we provide can generate sustainable foods. The global and agri machinery industry has evolved from precision farming before 2020 to smart farming now, which is the ability to generate and transmit data for efficiency, traceability, and sustainability. In India, most of the innovations in the past few years have been around supply chain and largely involving last mile connectivity between farmers and customers. There are only few instances where precision farming solutions are being offered, and due to cost considerations, they are yet to take off. So, whenever you are asked about the precision farming, what it is, so you can tell what it is. What are in India, or what is the reason behind implementing a new innovative solutions for farming, especially precision farming. Also, I told you why in India it is not being done. You can say that as of now the innovation those have happened, it has been around supply chain, and largely it has involved the last mile connectivity between farmers and customers. Only there are very few where precision farming solution are being offered, and one of the problem is the cost advantage. Then comes the government recent announcement of a 750 crore blended fund for agriculture startups and rural enterprises may change this particular scenario in the years to come. So what is the possibility? So possibility, you can say that the government of India's recent announcement of 750 crore rupees blended fund for agri startups can change the game. What is another opportunity? You can say that India generates close to 500 million tons of agriculture residue annually, and it offers a substantial business opportunity for close to 50,000 crore rupees, because nearly 200 million tons of this resource remain unused. So that also can be a greater opportunity. So what are the opportunity? Number one, the government of India's 750 crore rupees blended fund. Another is the 500 million agriculture residue that we generate. This underscores the untapped potential for converting agriculture residues into biofuels. And we also know that how we are trying to turn biofuel into an economic opportunity and reduce the reliance on the fossil fuels. It not only helps to reduce the foreign forex reserves outgo, but it also helps the agricultural and other communities because of the local level availability. So this underscores the untapped potential for converting agriculture residue into biofuel. At the ground level, India is far behind in area of the precision farming. Because of number one, because of we are far behind in the precision farming. That's why farm input manufacturers need to move from conventional product to sell of solutions that help farmer maximize output using lower chemical per hectare. New precision agriculture tools that enable consistent planting of seeds at optimal depth, pneumatic sprayers and spreaders that can deploy fertilizer more precisely than conventional implements. So how it can help us, that these pneumatic spreaders or sprayers, or the equipment, those can help us plant seeds at optimal depth, and they can also understand what is the requirement of the fertilizer, etc. That will definitely reduce the input cost that goes into agriculture. That will definitely address the pollution related challenges also. So these are the solutions that a precise farming actually enables a person. Leading global manufacturing food companies require traceability, agronomic monitoring, yield forecasting, and improvement in agriculture practices across the supply chain. So whenever there is a forecast about agriculture produce, and that forecast is based on the precision farming solution those have been implemented in agriculture, those companies would also want to purchase those products directly from farmers. So there are chances that the farmers also will get the benefit out of it, and they will be getting better prices for their produce. So precision farming can be a win-win situation for each and every section of the society. Then comes the second topic, and that is the social security. Social security for platform workers. So what is social security? Social security, you can understand in the form that at least some sort of guarantees regarding their health or educational benefits. Maybe whenever they retire, some sort of pension benefit. Whenever actually suppose that they get some accident or whatever, then these things are covered under social security. For platform workers, who are the platform workers? Platform workers are those work on the platform services, those are provided. So what are the platform services? Platform services are those especially like food delivery services. And here what happens is the third party provider delivers hardware and software to other users, and there is a help of the internet. So this is called the platform based services. So, what are the example? Suppose say food delivery. Suppose say a ride delivery services. So, platform worker is a worker who provides specific services using an online platform directly to the individuals or organizers. Examples can include ride sharing, delivery, and food sharing apps. As of now, these people actually do not have the facility of social security, just like as the former workers have. Former workers have it because they have the contract with their employers, and those contracts are not easy to forfeit. While in the platform, what happens is a person is employed today with one company, he can switch to another company because of the easier rules those are there. But these easier rules also actually are embedded with a negative thing also, in that whenever they change one company to another at the ease of their own, then the social security benefits are not provided to them. So platform workers deal with the problem of the social security. That's why to protect these workers who are involved in these kind of works, so gig platform, these are independent contractors, online platform, etc. So gig economy, whenever you are writing in the examination, you should mention that yes, gig economy is helpful not only in providing employment, but it also connects the person who is sitting at the bottom level of the society, and with some sort of a skill he can get a better job. Even these gig based economy have been able to provide the opportunity of the person who is in a remotest village of the country. Those products also can be sold to the urban consumer, whatever, and according to their time and convenience. So this is the platform that is provided by the gig platform. But the major problem with the gig platform workers is social security is absent. So suppose that they meet with any kind of emergencies, or they actually change their companies, etc., then these kind of situations are not for them. So there are no win-win options here. So the Code of Social Security 2020 defines a gig worker as a person who performs work or participate in a work arrangement and earns from such activities outside of a traditional employer-employee relationship. So whenever you are talking about gig workers, so gig workers are those do not have a traditional employer-employee relationship. Even a Niti Aayog report also states that gig workers can be broadly qualified into a platform and non-platform based workers. Non-platform gig workers are generally casual wage workers and on account workers in the conventional sectors working part-time or full-time. Because they work part-time also, that's why their income levels are also not at a higher level. So the platform workers has the following characteristics, like task deliverable based contract between service providers and online intermediaries. So platform work makes the work formal while the worker remains informal. In the non-platform gig workers, both work and worker remain informal. So what are the options? So we need to take into consideration that social security has to be provided to the workers in whatever circumstances, because till that time the social security is provided, a worker actually cannot remain confident about his own income levels and the livelihood opportunities, because sometime these platforms also remove the laborers or the workers at their own wishes. In case these are removed from their posts, so these people are not provided any benefit. But when you compare it with the formal employee relationship, then the formal companies, whether private or the public sector companies, they provide the benefit in the form of 3 months, suppose say pay or any other thing actually, so that till the time they get job, there is some sort of income security and livelihood opportunities for them. So these options should be also made available. So here are the two alternative solutions, which are platform, that while they are on a platform job, either on a long shift or a short shift. So there are essentially three questions: what to finance, for whom to finance, and how to finance. So what to finance means social welfare system is designed only for platform workers while they are actively involved on platforms. So one could potentially give them a buffer for 3 months. So these kind of things can already be provided. How to finance this scheme can be that Rajasthan type of framework where funds are derived from each transactions. The trade-off is the ease of doing business may be affected. So each and every transaction that is done on those platforms, some sort of commission or some sort of charges can be made for them, and those funds, those generated, can go into a particular account, and from that account the social security of these workers can be taken care of. Although the problem will be when you apply these kind of charges etc., then the ease of doing business can get affected. It is hard to determine the annual turnover and also share that is catering to the platform workers, but platform workers require a social security benefit options, and it has been mentioned each and every time. But also when the gig economy itself will mature enough, then they will themselves will also be opening actually the doors for social security benefit, because they also do not want their talent pool to go away to the other traditional employee relationship in a company negative manner. Now, so the third topic will include banks emerge cleaner and more robust. What is the banks, or how are they emerging? You see, banks are very, very important for the economy. In what aspect? Number one, a healthy banking system provides funds to the persons who are doing the economic activities. Those funds should be at the cost that is cheaper enough, and those banks also helps in the credit growth. So an entrepreneur would always want the funds to be available at the cheaper rate. Number two, a healthy banking system allows a government to implement its own policies in a manner which is fiscally responsible, and it is also credit worthy. So a healthy banking system allows the government to do that. A healthy banking system also saves the government from bailing out banks each and every time. You must know that there are runs on the banks. Runs on the bank situation arise when there is some confusion about a banking platform, and that actually threatens the availability of the finances from that bank. Suppose say some fundamental of a particular bank are weak, and the news comes out in the public that yes, this bank maybe actually facing the regulatory problems. So when these kind of news comes, people run after this particular bank to withdraw their money. Once they run after to withdraw their money, what happens is the banks are left with fewer capital, and that capital cannot be put into productive use, which can also give the banks enough returns. So the banks, health go into a downward spiral. That's why a healthy banking system is necessary. So in the last few years, if you want to see, then one of the reforms in the banking sector has allowed the banking system to emerge stronger and cleaner. So what are the measures? Number one, bank balance sheet with asset quality review. Bank balance sheet asset quality review is also allowed the banking system with ability to identify which of these things are under the cloud, or which of the accounts are not able to pay back. Implementation of the insolvency and bankruptcy code has also allowed the banking system to come stronger. Increasing financial inclusion and the digital penetration is also allowing the banking system to have a healthy returns. Even bank consolidation has also ensured that banking system is in the larger. So the question can be asked in this format, that last few years the banking system has emerged cleaner and stronger. How do you see that it has happened? What kind of policy measures were taken? And how do you see that a healthy banking system is important for the economy? So you can mention that a banking system is healthy because number one, the private sector or the public sector banks NPA have been reducing from levels of 13% to close to 8% or 7% now. Number two, even the fresh loans those are being provided by the banking sector are even on a even lower on the NPA basis. Number two, you can also say that the profits those are being generated by these banks are at an all-time high. So that is also one of the thing. Third, you can say that their market valuation is also skyrocketing. That is also because of the investors are putting in money because of their good health. Number four, you can also say that the credit growth that is being visible in the economy is also because of the stronger banking. So these are the examples why the banks are stronger. Now, second dimension of the question is what kind of options have been taken. So you say that insolvency and bankruptcy code. So what does insolvency and bankruptcy code do? It involves actually the company's restructuring. If the company is not able to pay, then that company can be made bankrupt and its assets be sold at a particular time frame where the assets can be generative or income generative for those who buy it, but that happens timely. What happens basically, suppose say a company is bankrupt and its assets are not sold timely, then its assets degrade with time, plus the purchaser after some time actually will not be able to generate some income from these because of the problems that happens timely with these kind of instruments. So a timely solution to the bankruptcy situation of the companies is what was done by IBC, that is insolvency and bankruptcy code. Another was the banking reforms. Those were done, and under the banking reforms the government reduced its own intervention in selecting the public sector banks MD and chief. So that was also one of the wonderful step that was taken. Asset quality review means when NPA levels were so stronger, that time the government actually what it did do, it said to the banks through RBI actually asked these banks to do the asset quality review and correctly identify which accounts are NPAs and which accounts are non-NPAs. Because of the correct identification, banks were able to identify the NPA accounts in a larger manner, and because of that the balance sheet strength of the banks was also visible to the people sitting in the government. So government actually came up with the financial package, and that financial package close to 2 lakh crore rupees made these banks more healthy. So they were able to not only filter out their non performing asset, but to make actually their balance sheet healthy because of these kind of interventions. Then third came increasing financial inclusion. Because of the increasing financial inclusion, the formal finances became available to the persons who are sitting at the society, and that also helped bank actually not only credit growth but also to generate interest based income. So that also helped banks. even the bank consolidation that was announced, and in this one there were couple of banks actually which were either weak or not performing up to the potential, were either merged with the other banks, just like State Bank of India's merger with other State Bank of sister branches. So that helped, not only create a larger capital pool, but also a balance sheet that was very very large, so that the loan book size also increased. So that were the reason why the banks emerged cleaner, and there was a more robust growth opportunities. So balance sheet cleaned up, creditors were in the driver's seat because of the IPC, capital support to public sector banks. Because of that, 11 public sector banks came out of the prompt corrective action framework. No visibility on fiscal year 2022 union budget proposal to privatize two public sector banks are still a reason to worry. Loan growth to industries is still sluggish, and that we also need to take care. And improving bank governance is a work in itself in progress. So at the last of your answer you can write that yes, because of these things we have done, but there are other things that we need to do. Is number one, the government's proposal to privatize two public sector banks is still progressing nowhere. Number two, loan growth to the industries is still at a sluggish level and is not increasing. And number third is improving bank governance. Banking governance is also one of the reason actually why the banking sector was in the doldrums earlier. So but banking governance is also a work in progress, and we need to also work on this. I think that also suffices this particular topic. Then comes prioritize MP and MLA criminal cases, says Delhi High Court. So the Delhi High Court has asked its judges to prioritize hearing of all criminal cases, appeals and revisions concerning MPs and MLAs, so that the cases can be decided expeditiously and effectively. What happens basically when a person who is an MP or an MLA and is facing a criminal case, then it becomes a very very challenging task. Number one, why? Because these legislatures are the ones who make legislation for the country. So when there are charges on these legislators, it can become a kind of problematic scenario where a person with a criminal mindset is actually making policies, so that criminal mindset itself may allow to leave some loopholes. Sometimes what happens also, that the cases against these politicians are also filed in the heat of the moment, and because of they are filed to just malign their reputation. If the MPs and MLAs criminal cases are not done on a timely basis, then that reputation can get harmed. So that irreparable loss to the reputation also can be a big trouble. So we should also take care of this, that the false cases those are filed against MPs and MLAs to just tarnish their image should not also become a tool that is in the hands of the opposition parties. So that is also one of the thing. Number third is also, just like we always understand one thing, that justice delayed is justice denied. In this particular scenario, it is absolutely a very very important phenomena, because justice delayed, whenever the criminal cases against MPs and MLAs is delayed itself, then what will happen to the public at large will become itself a misery. Because when those people who are sitting at the power centers, their cases are not decided and their adjournment etc are being done on a timely basis, then the importance of then the condition of the public, how much it will be bad, you can identify it. So justice delayed, it will be justice denied. So we can also mention this particular thing. That's why it is important for the courts also to decide that the situation should change when MP and MLA criminal cases are taking so long. The court has also asked the registry to reallocate and redistribute cases pending before a single judge of the court in which an order of the trial has been passed. So this is to ensure that stay applications are disposed of in a timely manner. And why it is also required, you must understand that these people are sitting in the parliament and deciding about the policy options for the country. So we should take more into this particular consideration. Then comes an ethics dimension, and that is faith a limitation or a blessing of intelligence? So what is a faith? These kind of questions also can be asked in your examination, because of number one, in ethics you are asked like questions like what is happiness, questions like what is integrity, what is faith, what is the difference between faith and religion. These kind of questions are also asked. Our quest to find answers to the origin of life and seemingly infinite universe is insatiable. The razor sharp, incisive human intellect and logic and reasoning are never able to cut through the wheel of incomprehensibilities. One of the greatest minds to walk this planet, Albert Einstein, departed with a sense of despair for being unable to come up with a theory of everything that could provide a consensus. His epic statement was, "The most incomprehensible part of the universe is that it is comprehensible." So there is a no logical way to discover of elementary laws. There is only way of intuition. So everything cannot be actually not come in a logical conclusion. There is an intuition. Intuition is helped by a feeling of the order lying behind the appearance. Spirituality is the order and science of appearance. So, in this particular topic, you are not only understanding about faith, but also about intuition and also about spirituality. So, spirituality is the order and science is the appearance. Intuition is helped by a feeling for the order lying behind the appearance. Whenever we talk about Indic philosophy of Purush and Prakriti, Shiv and Shakti are nomenclature to address this order and appearance. The most incomprehensible part, Shiv, and the comprehensible part is Shakti. So the unmanifest source, subject, and manifest can never be object of scientific scrutiny. Science can at best decipher the manifest universe and yet stumble upon unfathomable principles that govern the manifest objective universe. So, whenever you are asked in ethics, actually questions about, science cannot deal with anything, everything, spirituality, intuition, these are also, answers of scientific short, terminology. So, you can always write down like that. Scientific endeavor will eventually have to shift focus from its obsession with the observed to understanding the observer. The tangible has to always depend on the intangible for its successes. So, faith in some higher intelligence, intuition is that moment of epiphany for the observer when his ego and intellect quest for answers sublimate to a point of surrender. Faith never raises questions, it certainly provides recourse. It is the vehicle needed by intelligence to navigate and travel over the unfamiliar terrains of the incomprehensibility. Faith is an anthropomorphic God tends to be divisive. The faith in the unmanifest that accepts the limitation of intellect and reason will eventually help comprehend the manifest. So whenever you are right, you are asked about faith, you can mention these kind of things. So the question will be asked in this format, that what is faith first of all. So faith, we can say that it is a strong belief into something. It is basically a thing where the true meaning is a faith or a belief into something that may be with or without total proof. Faith actually requires us to have higher intelligence and intuition levels. Faith is also one actually that never raises questions on the recourse, sorry, on any other things. It provides recourse to whatever troubles that we have, because faith is one which allows us to remove suspicion from any kind of activity. Faith also allows us to go into the spirituality domain as well. So these kind of answers you can write down. For more such videos, you can like the button and subscribe the channel. Thank you.